Welcome to the Sheff United Way. My name is Hal. Let's talk about a central midfielder, and specifically his name is Marc Henry Leonard, born on the 19th of December 2001, a Scottish youth international from under 17 up to under 21 international level, who enjoyed a really fruitful League One season in the 2023-24 campaign with Northampton Town, on loan from Brighton and Hove Albion. He's the player that I'm going to focus on for today. I think he could be a bit of shrewd business. He's also already been linked with Sheffield United. A few articles floating around saying that we've apparently been interested in Marc Leonard. Well, let's jump to the Marc Leonard profile. Height 180 centimetres, that's 5'11", great height for a man. Age 22, he'll be 23 in December if he's not careful. He's right-footed. His current club, as I've mentioned, is Brighton, where he's made just 2 appearances, both in the League Cup, and he's been on loan at Northampton for 2 seasons in a row. 45 games, that's league games, for the Cobblers in 2022-23 season, and 46 for them in the 23-24 season with 5 goals. He's missed 1 game in 2 seasons. Pretty sure Sheffield United could change that. Northampton's Player of the Year too. Previous clubs, Rangers and Hearts at youth level. He was very highly rated at Hearts by all accounts. I read a few things online, but apparently, and this is just what some people have said, I haven't officially heard this, but apparently he chose to leave as their style of play didn't suit him. I don't know if that's true. Maybe he'll clear that up in future years to come, but maybe their style under Craig Levein was a bit up and at him. Market value, according to Transfermarkt, is at €450,000. Rumoured fee is 300,000. Again, according to rumours, but I don't know about that. I'd expect more. Contract expires 30th of June 2025. With Brighton, he can play central midfield, more of a maybe defensive midfielder, can play attacking midfield as well. But we're going to talk a little bit more positionally about him, because I've delved into the numbers and looked at some of the positions he's actually played in through his career. A career which has seen career appearances, 99, capped 7 times at Scotland under 21 level. He's experienced League Two and League One, as I've already mentioned. Career goal involvements, 13, 6 goals and 7 assists. Now, positionally, he is a central midfielder, but his versatility in midfield could be a useful part of his game. And in his career, he's played 71 games in central midfield, 43 as a defensive midfielder, 34 as an attacking midfielder, 6 right midfield and 1 as right winger. You might be adding up those numbers and think, hang on, well, that's including internationals and EFL Trophy and Premier League 2 and stuff like that. So that's in his entire career. Now, to look at Marc Leonard and see if he would be a good fit for United, and I think he could be a good fit. I mean, he's got some areas of his game that perhaps are a bit weaker than others, but sure, every player does. But I've compared him with not 1, not 3, but 2 other players. That's right, it's a 3-way. Let's look at Leonard compared with Tommy Doyle from the Championship 2022-23 season, a very successful loan spell we remember fondly from Manchester City to Sheffield United. A fan favourite, Tommy Doyle. Many would have liked to see him return, an FA Cup hero. But not stopping there, it's also worth comparing Leonard, because of the type of player I believe he is, with Sander Berge, also from that Championship 2022-23 season. So remember, we're looking at Doyle and Berge from the 2022-23 season, looking at Leonard from the 23-24 season. We're looking for a player to fit into the Championship. I think it makes sense, therefore, to look at Championship stats for like players in terms of Tommy Doyle and Sander Berge. At least I think that makes sense, and it's my video. Tommy Doyle. So, Doyle, Berge versus Leonard. Let's get into it. So, I think if we start with shooting, if we start with a negative and then work our way towards positives, big chances missed, 2 for Leonard, 3 for Berge. Shots per game, 1.2 for Leonard, 1.5 for Berge, which actually surprised me, and 1.3 for Doyle. I would have thought Doyle would have had the most there, but stats can often tell a story, and sometimes, with your real eyes, you don't always see it. Goals, 5, 6, and 3 respectively. So again, Berge doing well there, shooting. Each player gets a decent amount of shot-offs, with Berge scoring the most, as we saw, and having the best conversion rate. Leonard does chip in, as you would expect a midfielder to. Even more impressively is he stepped up his sort of goals, assists from 2 in League 2 to 11 this season in League 1. Creatively wise, I think that when we look at it, if we go into the stats, and you can see like on screen right now with the fouled, possession lost, key passes per game, assists, which I really like, and it just looks there, just briefly, you can just tell straight away that Leonard is winning the battle here. And Leonard seems to be the most creative and also win the most fouls as well when I've looked at the other stats. Chances created, touches as well. He has the most key passes, assists, and is fouled the most out of the three. He does lose possession the most, but when factoring in his touches per game, being just 10 touches shy of Berger and Doyle combined, this makes sense. If you combine both their stats on losing possession, they lose it 5 more times per game combined. Leonard is also dispossessed the least per game out of the 3. However, Doyle does have the best chance creation per minute, but Marc Leonard is not far behind and is a fair bit in front of Sander. In terms of dribbling, Leonard has the worst success rate of the 3. That's clearly not his game. Again, when we look at defending and kind of being dispossessed and duels, the whole defensive side, Leonard puts up the best defensive stats in clearances, possession won in the final third. Leonard has been vital in breaking up opposition play. The midfielder ranks 3rd in League 1 for tackles, 172, behind only 𝗍𝗵𝗍𝗶𝗲, 76, and George Dobson, 81. Leonard is also ranked 7th in the 3rd tier for interceptions with 60. However, he is dribbled past the most, but only 0.1 more times per game than Doyle was in that season. This places Leonard as the best defender of the 3. And again, that surprised me. If you'd asked me before, I would have guessed that Sander would have been the best, and he's played more defensively for Burnley. And perhaps if we'd looked at the stats this season for Burnley, with Sander it might have been different. Duels is interesting. 40% aerial duels won for Leonard compared with 48% for both Berger and Doyle. Ground duels won, Leonard 62%, then 51% and 52% for Berger and Doyle. Leonard comes out on top in overall duels and ground duels won by some distance. However, he wins much less aerial duels than both Berger and Doyle. If he were to sign, he may need someone who can win aerial duels to partner him in midfield. He's also not a dirty player, only picking up 3 yellows in the 23-24 season. Passing, this is where I believe Leonard excels. He's a midfielder, sure, he should be good at passing, but he has the best overall passing accuracy and accuracy in his own half. Now, he falls behind Sander Berger when it comes to opposition half passes and chipped passes, and falls behind both Berger and Doyle in long ball accuracy. However, he's not behind Doyle by much. It'd be interesting, actually, if I'd throw Norwood into this mix, wouldn't it, for some of those stats. His crossing stats come out as the strongest, but only just. It's pretty marginal. He's a good passing player and similar to Doyle and Berger in that respect, which is, I think something we've missed, certainly in the most recent season. But the passing, this is where I put Leonard as the very, very top of his game, is his passing ability. And if you play these computer games where they do stats for players, like Football Manager 2024, for example, you look at Leonard's passing there, it's 15 out of 20. It's by far and away his highest stat. He's a very well-rounded player. He can score and create. He's capable of dictating games, but also putting in the dirtier work. Again, not a dirty player, but the dirty work when defending. He takes a good corner, has good stamina and natural fitness, a team player, good vision, nice first touch technique, and he's agile enough to get about the pitch when needed. And, I think one of the things that 𝗍𝗵𝗍𝗶𝗲 cited when he brought in Vinicius Souza was his ability to get up and down the pitch. And perhaps we saw that less as the season progressed, and maybe Souza, for whatever reason, didn't quite put in as much of a shift as we'd seen at the start. But perhaps Leonard could be that player. In the Championship, you might need that even more. Could this be a steal? Well, as we've mentioned, some of the figures banded about, let's say it was £350,000, for example, and at only 22, he would be a perfect signing for our midfield to complement what we already have in our Blaster and Harmer. As stated earlier, this fee, the fee we've thrown around 3 different fees, it would be great, but I fear it'll take more. I think it'll be more cash that's required. I'm sure he's keen to have a crack at the Championship and test himself at a higher level. He's done League 2, League 1, Championship makes progressional career sense. Hull have also been rumoured to be interested. If you Google Leonard's name, you'll see rumoured interest from Hull right at the top of the search. Let's see how it plays out, and if he's better than the last Leonard that Chris Wilder chased for so long. What do you think of this signing? I'd be really interested. If you've seen him play as well, if you're a Northampton Town fan, let me know your thoughts as well in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.